y'all ready, I'll get started. I want to start off by thanking each and every one of y'all coming and what you do for this community. We can't thank you enough. We value all y'all's ideas and thoughts. That be saying, could I get a approval agenda for the work session?
So moved, Chairman.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right, we got down there. Secession plan. I've talked to several of you, you had some ideas and all. I got one question before we get in. You know, the secession plan, how much time do we need between Don's retirement and the new replacement? I mean, there's a lot of moving parts on this, and I just want y'all to think. You ain't got to answer now, but y'all think about it. And we just kind of give this board an idea of what y'all's thoughts are. I know when Mr. Risner was hired, you had a couple months of you and a couple of weeks. 2 days. Oh, it wasn't long, so he left out here quick. Well, that didn't help none, did it?
Let's find another question.
All right, no, y'all think about it. How much time do we need to hire this individual, get him where he needs to be, get him with Don and y'all, that we can make a smooth transition? It's just thoughts. I mean, I'm looking for y'all on these thoughts.
Some of the information that we've got here tonight might make that question a lot easier to
Okay,
answer.
sure. All right, well, you got the floor. Come on. Just for everybody at home to see, just introduce yourself and make sure the mic's on.
Good evening.
Yep.
I'm Van Collins, a captain on the Jones County Fire Department. I think I know just about everybody here. What we've done is, last week, we got a group of the captains together. This is a plan we've been working on for months now. And it's just a vision we see, that a place to take our fire department. We all know that we're on the edge of having to be full-time fire department. We've already passed it. We need to be full-time right now.
Okay.
And we've come up with an idea that has worked in other places in Georgia, where we can make a full-time fire department with all part-time people. I don't know if all of you have seen the plan that Don came up with, and he's gonna hire the full-time, 9 people, I believe he's gonna hire. Right. With this plan that we've got in front of you right now, using Don's figures, we'll save over $200,000 a year in salaries. We can work 12-hour shifts, use firefighters that are already trained from other fire departments, bring them in here after a day of orientation, they can go work. Our daytime people that we pay now, just about every one of them comes from a paid department. So we've already got this in place, it's just on a lot smaller scale.
Right.
You look at this, there's 2 Macon-Bibb County firefighters there. Greg Benny in the back is a captain. He rides the chief car in Macon every day. He's on duty today in Jones County. In order to hire somebody with that experience, you're looking at $80,000 a year. We can hire these people for part-time pay. He doesn't need vacation, doesn't need annual leave, doesn't need sick leave. He's got all that with his full-time job. On the second page you've got right there is Roswell Fire Department. The city of Roswell has been using this, I think, for close to 20 years. They started at the top. Their chief staff was full-time. They came on down. Last year, they hired 22 captains full-time, and over half of them came from their part-time people. So it gives you an opportunity to get years and years of experience. I'm sorry, Daylon, you didn't get one. There you go. It gives you an opportunity to get years and years of experience for entry-level pay. The drawbacks on it, logistically, it's tough to schedule. But our plan, like I say, it saves over $200,000, and Don's plan was, what, a year old? So the salary would probably have to go up. He set it at $15 an hour. And these numbers I've given you are $15 an hour. In today's world, it's probably gonna have to be a little bit more. But as the salary goes up, the savings is even greater. If you hire full-time people, you hire two and it costs you three salaries. Y'all know that. You work with that every day. You get these, you get what you pay for, and at the end of the day, they're done. I just think it's a great opportunity. Like I say, it's what we've got in place right now. The advantages are they can start working immediately. You're getting trained people, a little orientation, they're ready to go. And Roswell, the people that they started hiring full-time were their part-time people. Is this a perfect plan? No, it's not perfect, but I think it fits us very well right now. It's a way for us to transition into a full-time department without all the expense associated with it. There will, of course, you start hiring people, there's gonna be additional expenses. You're gonna have uniforms and things like that, but it's gonna be that with full-time people too. So I think we're in a great spot to try this. Are there any questions about how this would work from y'all so far?
I got one, Van. And I hear you. I don't know that that's not a great idea, not a good idea, a great idea, because we're right on the verge of being between a volunteer and a full-time, but we know we can't afford, based on the number of calls and all that, we can't afford full-time in every department, in every
Right.
station. So how do we know we're getting it right when we pick Station 1, 6, and 12, as far as, how we get the hot spots of calls and stuff like that. So part-time would be great. I heard you mention it, and that was my first thought is scheduling, because I think it's been a while since I've been in bid, but are they still 2 on, 2 off?
No, they completely changed that.
What?
California swing shift will work like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then we'd be off Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
So, yeah, that would be my concern, is how to, because now we're talking about scheduling all stations based on other people's, because obviously their full-time job is gonna be their priority. So they're gonna work their part-time shift when they're not working their full-time job. And what if we run into something where out of 50 folks, 48 of them are on the same California schedule,
Right.
but they're off the same days?
Well, I feel like we're gonna draw from more departments other than just making bid. And my next step was to tell you the vision we have for our new chief. And, we're looking to put a command staff in place. We've already tested, I guess 2 years ago, tested, interviewed, and narrowed it down to 2 names to make battalion chiefs, to oversee the volunteers. And that never came to pass, but those people are still doing the job. They're recognized throughout the county. I had a deputy come to me on a call the other day and said, yeah, last time I was at this call, I was with one of your chiefs. Well, it was one of the 2 that were gonna be named chiefs and were never named. I'll step right into this next thing. The department-wide, we feel like the next chief for Jones County Fire Department should be Thomas Coleman, our assistant chief and training chief now. Thomas has been with Jones County Fire Department 25 years. He's been with Sandy Springs Fire Department 17 years. He's a battalion chief in Sandy Springs. He is part-time now as our assistant chief and training chief. He's done things with Jones County Fire Department that are unbelievable almost. When I joined Jones County Fire Department, it was Station 1, Station 5, Station 8. They were all separate districts, separate stations, almost like separate fire departments. Thomas has put the training together and brought all the department together, and now we're Jones County Fire Department. We've got these 11 stations, but we are Jones County Fire Department. We train together regularly, at least quarterly we get together and train. John Shipley, you usually train with 3 stations when you train, at minimum of 3 stations. You've been to some of our trainings. Thomas has done great things with Jones County. Thomas has been Jones County's contact with ISO. He's been our contact with standards and training. I think he's already given you his proposal. He said, well, I've asked him, and he said he didn't want to share his proposal until it came to y'all first, which I understand that. But I asked him, I had him look at what I've got here and ask him, did it conflict with anything in his proposal? He said it didn't. So, you know, he's right on board where we are, and we think this is a great future for Jones County Fire Department. We and leave, if we're gonna have part-time people filling the full-time fire department, it's gonna be a little bit different to have a part-time chief. But we'd get a chief, hopefully as good as Thomas has been, to be his assistant and put a command staff in place. Thomas said he could do it with assistant chief / training chief and 2, possibly 3 battalions. The battalion chiefs would oversee the firefighting operations. Let administration handle administration. The battalion chiefs oversee all firefighting operations. This is how major fire departments operate. We're not a major fire department, but that's how it works. Our battalion chiefs would do the scheduling. If they're, say you got people working back to back from Macon, they get off at 7:30 and supposed to report here at 7:30. Well, we know there's gonna be a 15 or 20 minute for both of them. So you're gonna be 30 minutes. The battalion chief, part of their duties would be cover that spot. All of our battalion chiefs would be, they fight fire. The ones that have been in those positions have been fighting fire just like everybody else. But the battalion chiefs would be the heart to make this thing work, because they'd be doing the scheduling. They would cover any vacancies. Yeah, like I said a while ago, it's not a perfect plan, but it's a giant step from where we are right now. It's something we'd like to see happen. There's a lot of this that would be changed by whoever the chief is, if it's Thomas or somebody else. And, you know, one major point with Thomas is the volunteers respond to him 100%. And that's difficult. When I first came here, I sat in the back, I kept quiet. This isn't Macon-Bibb County. This is Jones County. And everything here operates differently than Sandy Springs or Marietta or Macon-Bibb. This is Jones County, and you operate differently. And whoever y'all make the next chief needs to realize that that's probably the most important thing, is having the support of the volunteers and realizing this is Jones County, this isn't another fire department somewhere else. That's about what I've got. Anybody else want to add to it?
The only thing that I was wondering about, Sam, when you were asking about filling all the stations, initially, I think what we were talking about, we would still do the 3 stations like with the part-time, and then, you know, eventually, you know, if we moved on down the road, this would be a transitional type thing from volunteer to part-time to full-time career department. So initially, it would only be 3 stations, and then as the need grows, then, you know, it could venture out further.
Agreed, but I don't know that, I'm just being honest, and y'all know I am. I don't know that we would be able to fund more than 9 full-time firemen, and that's why we looked at 3 stations, 9 people, 3 at each station, full-time, around the clock.
And that's the way I would see it too right
Yeah.
now.
I felt like that, personally felt like that was probably gonna take us the next 5 or 10 years easy, because I don't know that the county, based on our full budget for the county and the number of calls we've got for fires, not EMS, not 911, talking fire department calls. I don't know that we would be able to afford more than 3 of them anytime soon. So that's why it intrigues me when he talks about all the stations having round the clock
No,
paid firemen
it'd just be
there.
the 3 stations to start
That's
with.
why
The same 3.
It'd just be the same 3. And as we grew, and the tax base grew, then we could expand it. It would, yeah, this was just set up just like Don's plan with just the 3 stations to start with.
So how many firemen total
Let's see
For-
what my number
for
is.
part-time? So,
It'd be 42 shifts per week. And if each person pulls 3 shifts,
I just did, yeah, okay, so 14 shifts
But-
at 12 hours each.
what we would have, you disagree with the,
No, that's, I figured it in a little bit higher instead of $12 an hour. At
You said
16.50 an hour.
don't be shorting them, Wendy, you said 15.
and
he said-
realistically today, it's what are we paying the day people now, $18?
$18,
$18.02. It probably wouldn't start them at that. It probably $17.50.
Well, I figured it at 16.50 and it would cost us $429,656.
But the,
See, I can do some math, Sam.
the best part about this system, well, another good part about this system is we wouldn't hire 9 firefighters. We'll hire 30. It's not gonna change the number of shifts. The shifts will stay the same. That gives us a bigger pool to pull from.
And that-
What I like.
And the
Yeah,
thing
you'll need
is
a large
that the
pool.
money's not gonna change because it's only gonna be 42 shifts.
That's exactly right. And if there's a scheduling problem, you just call the next one in line. Are you available today?
But one that wanted to work those 14 shifts a month could make up to $2,300 a month extra, $28,000 a year extra.
And I've been a firefighter for a long time. I've never seen a full-time firefighter didn't have a part-time job.
Amen. Some of them 3.
See, this would be a question for
And this,
Shannon.
you know-
Are they limited on the number of hours they can work a week? Or part-time?
36,
Yeah, they can. When they get to a certain point, we have to start giving them benefits.
Right, that's what I was thinking, I was just making sure.
And it's,
what is the hour?
I
It's
believe,
32 and under.
32. I was under the impression it was
continuous
36.
All right, so I mean, that changes your numbers a little bit, but still, I mean, you're talking about all these extra.
That will cover the shift change. They
Right.
take 2 hours between shift change.
Right.
We just limit, and we would limit them to 32 if that's what the law allows. I don't know. But the command staff would be the thing that holds it together.
Right.
But the number that we put on the roster wouldn't matter because the shifts are gonna stay the same. And it gives us, and it wouldn't just be Macon, we could pull from Henry County, Sandy Springs, all the county, Houston County, Warner Robins, there's some strong fire departments down there. It's just an opportunity to start ground level with seasoned people. And you can't buy 25, 30 years' experience for what we've got to offer. And that's the problem. If we went with full-time people, we're gonna get the bottom tier because we can't compete with what Bibb County, Bibb County's losing 10 firefighters a month going to other counties because of more pay. They cannot train enough people in Bibb County to keep the roster full, and we can't compete with them. So, looking for alternatives, and this is what we came up with, and it seems to fit Jones County's needs pretty good right now.
Van, do you know what the starting pay is in Bibb County? I'm not aware, I'm just asking if you,
Starting pay in Bibb County?
I mean, trained,
No experience, 36. 36,000.
30
That's coming in, no experience, no nothing, 36,000.
36,000.
okay.
I mean, the savings of, I saw 200,000, I mean,
Yeah,
our hourly wage on folks could also probably be bumped up enough to make it attractive, because,
well, and then the plan that we had hiring the 9 firefighters, that didn't account sick leave, annual leave, holidays. So now 9, and you're gonna take percentage of that, they wouldn't have been available if sick. And it showed overtime for every employee during the pay period. So that's time and a half.
yes, right, Jason, we figured when we looked at this to 9, that was full benefits too, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a savings.
I mean, it seems cruel on the outside not to offer benefits, but it's a part-time job.
Right.
And they've all got the good benefits where they work.
In this plan, what would you say if there was a full-time fireman working in another county, another jurisdiction, that wanted to, possibly lived here in Jones County, that wanted to be full-time in Jones County and looked at our, if we were full-time, so you would, because there are people that would look to work at home instead of traveling off 1,500 miles to
I
work.
ran
in.
into one this
Compete with
week.
the pay.
Right now, all we're proposing is part-time people. You know, you come part-time, and then if and when we go to full-time, they're at the top of the list, our local people.
You said something about Thomas, he's in Sandy Springs now, is that where?
He's a battalion chief up there. Like I say, he's been in Jones County longer than he has up there.
Right.
I don't know if any of y'all have had the opportunity to interact with him. He just finished up with ISO, and then standards and trainings came right in behind them. He's got the knowledge of the paperwork. It's down pat. He's got a good rapport with all of those people, and he's respected 100% by the volunteers. When we had a vote the other night, and it was unanimous, that, you know, anybody we could think of, and you could probably search the world over and not find anybody with the qualifications to be chief, especially when we're getting to transition into a full-time department, the qualifications that fit better than Thomas Coleman does. 25 years here, 17 years in Sandy Springs. He knows how volunteers work. He knows how paid departments work, and he's got the knowledge to mesh the two together.
So we were talking part-time chief, full-time assistant chief training, or part-time?
We could
assistant?
do them all part-time.
My only concern with that is you have to have an appointed official to be the head of something.
Right.
I think for all of our, whether it's FEMA, GEMA and all that, I think they're gonna ask for an appointed official.
Right.
Because I think that is a requirement. I don't know how we get around that.
Well, it could be Thomas. All right, back during COVID, Don had COVID. Thomas was out of the county. Our next in line was Gary Harrell. Did you have COVID at the same time? Or were you out of town? You were unavailable anyway. And Thomas came to John Shipley, said, here's the car. Y'all running it until I get back. And John and I swapped out. That's what our command staff would be. My point on that is, if somebody, Wilkerson County calls, I need to talk to the fire chief. They know exactly who it is. You've got the chief, the assistant chief, and rank the battalion chiefs. And everybody on the department, in this room, in dispatch, knows exactly where everybody is. If they'll have the schedule in dispatch, this chief's on duty today, and that's who makes a decision. It would have to be whoever is the next chief, Thomas or whoever else comes in. If they do this, they would have enough confidence in their command staff to turn it over to them. It's already been done in the past.
I don't doubt operationally, I mean, there's no doubt in
Right.
my mind, operationally, we can do it, and that could all be done, you know, internally. I'm more worried about the legal side of it as far as the EMS, the EMA, the FEMA, GEMA, certifications as a fire department, county side, with the state and everything else. I don't know, that would be a legal question of,
Right.
can we legally do it with a part-time fire chief?
All right, I can add a little bit there. I worked with Twiggs County for a couple of years, and their fire chief was part-time. He was a full-time firefighter, and he came in as part-time. city's fire chief, part-time.
I believe it can be done remotely, but I believe we were talking about before. That can be done remotely, I don't think it has to be.
So I got this
Look
question.
into that.
Thomas has got, at 17 years, how many years is he saying he's gonna work there?
4 more years.
So 21.
That's what he said, but, you know, things change, and everybody's got a plan. And we make our plans and we try to follow them, but they don't always work that way.
Mr. Martin, you've been quiet, taking it in. Any thoughts?
You know, 10 years ago, we ran these numbers, and I was excited about putting together full-time hours because we knew we couldn't do the staffing. And I'm still excited. I'm really curious about the plan. And then the long-term implications of that, you know. I want my ISO rating down. I want the ISO rating down for the county. I've been pushing for that for years. But I also want a highly functioning fire department. And I'll be honest, I'm on the south side of the county, so my experience is different. I've been in the house fire on McCreary Drive, and we lost our house. And I've seen enough house fires where I don't know if it's a response issue or equipment issue, so anytime Don comes up here and asks, I'm advocating for it because I don't want anybody to have any losses. And we've had loss of life and so on. So the solution is comprehensive, that solves that problem, I'm all for it. Whether it's full-time firefighters or part-time firefighters doing full-time hours. Again, I saw this 10 years ago, we ran the numbers, and I even pitched doing a parcel fee, like $25 a parcel. And people, pushed back against it because they thought that was a lot of money. But when you think about a life, it's a small price to pay. I text Tony George just a moment ago to get the current value of a mill. And does anybody know what the current value of the millage is right this moment?
670, 675. Am I right?
You and I, 7.
What's over there?
It's about 7, right?
Yeah.
It's 700,000, and at $25 per parcel, 16,000 parcels, it was like a half millage rate, right? It was a nominal number to get us there. Now we have funding, and to me, the other missing component is being a part of the millage, right, to support the fire department, period. So when you need equipment, it's not a question of do we have it, it's here's the funds to get it done. So I'm excited. It doesn't show on my face. For 10 years, I'm sitting there like, man, we should have been did this. I'm happy that we have some equipment, and I'm happy. I think our PPE equipment is almost about to expire based on when we bought it, right? So I've seen those things. I just know it has to happen. So however y'all want to work the plan, I'm excited. I want to see Jones County and Gray work together. I'm on the south side of the county. I don't care about the squabble. I want a solution, because if I dial 911 and the fire department gets dispatched, I want them to show up. My uncle lives here in Jones County in Gray. He's my most favorite uncle. If I lost him in a fire, I would be disgusted, because he moved all the way to Macon for me. I love him. So I hope that whomever y'all bring in also includes that as a part of the solution.
Well, I have, every fire call I go to, most of us, if it's a structure fire, everything's out and done with, we talk to the owners. And every owner I've talked to wants to know why we hadn't implemented a fire tax. When I explain to them how it works, here's the feedback I've gotten. When it was on the ballot before, I called Don, I begged him, I said, we're not ready, take it off the ballot. It's gonna put a sour taste in folks' mouth. I was on the team that put the fire tax together in Bibb County. Huge, huge success. Standards and Training does not understand why every fire department in the state doesn't have it. The problem, the way it was worded in the last ballot, was it said up to 3 meals, or I don't know the number, but it was up to blank meals. The average voter The response was, I'm not paying $1 million for a fire department. And that's what, we
It's
could
all
put.
about educating them.
That's right. It's all about educating them. I hate to even bring Bibb County up, but it worked. We educated the public. You put billboards on Gray Highway. You put billboards everywhere we can put them. Your fire trucks, your personnel. Would you pay $35 a year to have this crew at your house 35 minutes quicker in case of an emergency? Everybody says yes. It's a no-brainer. And most of us, fire comes out, your next door neighbor's house on fire. You're not gonna do any good run next door. You got to go 15 minutes to the fire station and 15 minutes back. Now when you get back, instead of having a kitchen fire, half the house is on the ground. That hurts us because that's what we do. Most of us do it professionally and come here and do it for free. Fire service has been very good to me. I've been making 35 years. I left as a chief. I came to Jones County with a black helmet. I started as a rookie in Jones County for free. And it's what we do, and it's hard to find the people dedicated now. You've been doing it your whole life. How many 19-year-olds can you find that'll answer fire calls now? It's not like it used to be.
Very true. Most of them are playing with their phones or video
That's
games.
right. So we've got to look about going to paid, because volunteerism doesn't exist anymore. That's not our society anymore. But yeah, we're here to try to see Jones County succeed. And that's all it's all about. That's the only reason y'all are here. Y'all put in a tremendous amount of time. You're not part-time, you're full-time. Everybody else is part-time
With a full-time commitment.
for a full-time commission. It works pretty good. Yeah, you're
He's
full-time.
full-time and part-time pay. Is that what you're saying?
Does it work right? Full-time commissioners working part-time? But
Yep.
appreciate y'all, and we're excited that y'all asked us to be here. We really are. This is something new. I mean, Jones County's got it together. But we're really excited that you included us in this, and I think y'all got everybody that's in here contact information. Any questions, call us. Most of the questions that technicalities going to have to go to whoever the new chief's going to be. This is our vision. People without vision perish.
I'm gonna make a statement. I've said this statement several times about the sheriff's department that, putting a price, we can't put a price on the safety of this community. That goes with each and every one of y'all out here. Cause we go to these conferences and stuff, and everybody looks at me and say, how in the world y'all do it? And I tell them just, you'd have to move to Jones County, but we got, stay where you at, cause I don't wanna bring your problems to us. But again, we can't, the savings you're bringing to us, if it took more money than that to attract good people and keep them, that we've got the safety of this community, hey, I don't think there's anybody on this board that say anything against it. That hey, if it takes more, let's do it, because you're already showing us a savings. You showed us a vision that how we can go forward. And again, there's some legality we got to check as far as having a part-time, I'm sure. We just need to make sure that we don't miss any opportunities
Right.
for this county that, by us not having a full-time would cost us. But again, thank every one of you. And I see y'all going up and down the road, and I just, I drop my head and pray, please, please be with them, because, I tell everybody, just be careful, because it's just 1 second away from, but again, we thank you.
We thank y'all.
Any discussion with the board?
Just need to,
I do
it's a
have
priority.
One quick question.
Sure.
Young firefighter cadet program in the high school, how do we do that successfully?
We've tried and just kind of fizzled out.
How do we do it again? Better.
I think having makes a big difference.
Yep.
Even if it's part-time, I think that does just as much to attract people as the direction we're heading in now between part-time, full-time, and full-time stations.
So you threw that out there, so my suggestion is we consider allocating some of those resources towards that program. So if the kids aren't volunteer, then there's some stipend involved to incentivize a kid. And I think we might be able to tie that to workforce development too, because that's another space that there's money that we don't leverage. And as far as, and again, I don't know the legal stuff, how old the kid needs to be to participate, but the initial part of the trainings, welcome them, you know, ride on the truck, welcome them. There's some basic stuff that they can do, absolutely, because if you don't light the fire in them early, right, you're gonna miss them.
Well, I remember putting you in the fire one night,
Yeah. It's good stuff.
full gear.
Oh, I
Yeah,
wish
yeah.
I had video of that.
Yeah. I wanna
That's
come
before
back.
video.
Come back and do it. It was good stuff. The house doesn't exist anymore, thank God. I'm like, why is this hole so big in this house?
Can I say one thing?
Sure.
Macon is actually, I was gonna mention this.
Come on up here, because people that are watching at home they can't hear you.
I got you. I'm just gonna mention it real quick. I work with Macon. I've been with Macon for 20-something years. I'm a captain down there. And as of right now, we have a program that people are going to learn through high school. They'll learn from A to Z through high school, get the training, state certified, national certified, and they're coming out. So when they come out, they go straight to a fire department. You know, it don't have to be Macon. You know, I'm just saying, but Macon's doing it. There is somebody that Macon pays, and every day that's his job is at the high school. I believe he's going through Central Georgia Tech. I had to find more details.
Do it through our college and career academy.
Yeah,
I
just
think
idea.
we
dual
could do that.
enrollment, college and career.
Yeah, see, they're getting credit as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I just want to mention that because I do know. I didn't know if Van was aware.
Yeah, they
of
gotta
that or
start
not,
somewhere.
Well, I knew that
I'd say we create
Deanna
almost like
used
a
to
co-op program, a stipend to
the,
start with, and a guaranteed job.
rescue specialist through Central Georgia Tech for college and career. She did that, for the rescue EMS side of it. So I know there's possibilities there.
And they started that in the last year, less than a year maybe.
It did.
So yes, ma'am. So I mean, it's something to look at, and especially these young kids. They see the lights like I did years ago. You see the little red lights, you get all excited.
Hey, I hear the siren and I still have heart palpitations wanting to not go.
My grandkids first day fire truck. They just
My
Mark-
dad was a cop for 40 years. I was going to be a policeman. He talked me out of it. Here I am. So,
all right.
but I did want to mention that. But I don't have
Thank
anything
you.
else other
I-
than let some of y'all do.
All right, no. Anything? I want to recognize the city while we're here. Have you got any feedback for the city? I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but
Those are great ideas presented tonight, so they presented some great ideas, so I think it's something for everybody to look at and look at all the options out there. So,
yeah, like I said, Commissioner Martin hit the nail on the head of everybody working together. We're one
Absolutely.
community. And
Right.
I'll be honest with you personally, I just want to see that so bad. I can't see straight. I just love to see come together as a community and work together.
absolutely. I think we're a lot better than what we have been in the past, so we're
Right.
working towards it day by day. So,
But we thank you.
yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Right, thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Anything else? Any of the commissioners? All right, well, I'll take a motion to
Make a
adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank y'all again.